So last year for Christmas, I got this booze and vinyl book. I haven't got to try out a recipe yet. I kind of did one. I kind of made it my own. Last year, I invited some friends over. We listened to Elvis's Blue Hawaii, and I made a Blue Hawaiian cocktail that everyone got to try, and I told everyone about the history of the Blue Hawaiian and how it was created, and so I'm going to do another one, actually, but from this book. The album that I picked out is an album that my friend Chris just picked me up on vinyl for my birthday. I had heard of this band. I knew how important they were, but I've never really listened to one of their albums. I've maybe heard a couple songs here and there. So I was really excited to give this album a listen, and after listening to it for 3 or 4 times straight through now, I'm pretty obsessed. They're a great band, and the band I'm talking about is A Tribe Called Quest, the album Low End Theory. This album I didn't realize how much of a game changer it was for hip hop music until I started doing the research on it. All of this is just nuts that these guys would record samples on tape decks and replay those samples, then rap over them, and then layer it, multi-layered throughout the song. It's just insane that they were doing all of this back then, and that's kind of how we know rap is today, based off of some of the things that these guys did. So really excited to get into this. I have like a presentation planned out for everyone, and we're gonna listen to the record. I'm gonna make some cocktails. I'll talk about them here in a little bit, but let's go get some ingredients, some stuff at the store. So I went and got these little cups at Walmart because I wanted to pre-measure everything for the cocktails. That way, when everyone's here, I don't have to spend too much time measuring. I just grab the cup and dump it. So I'm going to pre-measure some drinks. Then I'm going to pre-cut some food. That way I don't have to do it later. Do some prep. So about 4 o'clock, I can just kind of throw everything all together. That'll already be prepped. But yeah, so I'm just going to cut, jam out. I don't know, I guess talk about some hobbies. Baseball was always, I guess that was a hobby, but that was a sport. It felt like more like a job, honestly, through college. It was just something I did so much of and so much prep work for that I didn't really have time for anything else. And I was just thinking about that right now, like, it sucks that I didn't get like super into music until super late in life, or I guess later. And I didn't get into like photography and like recording myself until way later. So I was like, dang, that's such a bummer. I wish I would have done that sooner, or like kind of branched out, I guess, in high school. But I was like, well, there's got to be something that baseball, all that training and stuff taught me. And I really just think it's showing like how passionate you are about something, or like how committed you are to doing it. And that's kind of like why when I started filming myself for the first time, and like it was super awkward. I felt super awkward. I kind of feel awkward about it now, but not nearly as much. I wish I would have gotten into recording myself sooner, like documenting things. It's fun now to look back on some of the stuff like Ariel and I did when we were 18 years old. We met first year of college, really young. So we did so much stuff. There was one point in our lives where we went to over 35 concerts a year. And that was like normal. We would go to shows like all the time. And being in St. Louis, like we had the option to. There were so many bands that we liked, and I was finding new bands that I liked and figuring out what kind of music I liked. And it was all coming through St. Louis. So I got really lucky there that I just kind of like, it sprung my like whole musical awakening was there in St. Louis. I got to experience like all these different shows that I had no idea about. I would say music would probably be like my hobby of like main hobby. I love not just listening to music, but like finding music, finding people that I've never heard of, or people that don't have a lot of monthly listeners but are still creating amazing work. And I've always been like that. I want to find something new, something different that doesn't sound like stuff I would hear on the radio, which is not upset about either. I still like, of course, all the pop hits. Like, I like Sabrina Carpenter, Olivia Rodrigo, and Taylor Swift. Like, I recognize, like, where there's talent, and wherever that is, I enjoy it. But I really enjoy finding new artists in small venues and stuff like that, and I really got to experience that. Really cool to think about, like, some of the best moments in my life are shared with Ariel because we grew up together essentially. So yeah, first hobby, music. I guess baseball, sports, first hobby. And then music, second hobby. Got really into like alternative pop punk music and that whole scene, and then that just branched out to everything. Now I listen to quite a lot of things. Next, probably big hobby would be record collecting. I have probably about 400 records right now in my collection, and they vary from all different things. Like, I listen to so much music that if it's important, I want to own it, and I want to listen to it, and I want to appreciate it. And that's like the big thing with my record collecting lately is, of course, I want to get the stuff like that I like personally, that I would like listening to, because I do like the ritual of it, of picking the record out, listening to it front to back, looking at the album artwork, reading some of the liner notes, the lyrics, all of that. I love that aspect of it. So I still like getting newer stuff, mainly because I feel like I appreciate it more. But I do collect a lot of different things, like older stuff as well. A band that I really like that's older is the Grateful Dead. So like a lot of their stuff is so pricey that I don't have much. I think I have like 2 records, but that's another like example of an old band that I really like. But again, I like country, I like rock, I like rap, I like a lot of stuff. So record collecting is kind of there. It's kind of like fit for me because I love music, so I love finding new music, and I love collecting stuff. And then each one of these vinyl records can be pressed on a different color, different like splatter, something special with the record, something just like out of this world that completely blows my mind, like Jack White's Lazaretto, which is called the Ultra LP. And that record has like so many different things to it that are like special features. Like, it would play from the inside out. It has a locking groove on the end of the record that continuously loops, which is not something records usually do. It has a hologram that if you hold a flashlight above it, it will show a hologram of an angel that looks like it's floating above the record. So that's really all. I mean, there just goes on and on. There's so many things that he did with that record that make it so special and unique. So the record Chris got me for my birthday was Low End Theory by A Tribe Called Quest, which I've heard of A Tribe Called Quest before. I know they're a very like big influential hip hop group. I know like Can I Kick It? What's the Scenario? Check the Rhyme. I've heard those songs before. Never really sought them out, so it's not something that I'm going to go pick and listen to. But he gave me this album. He said, hey, this is a record that I was bumping on my whatever. I don't know what he was listening on. Not a record player, I think it was a CD. Bumping my CD, listening to A Tribe Called Quest, listening to this album. This was my jam. And I was like, okay, if it's your jam, like, I love Chris. He's one of my close friends. If he says it's good, I don't care. I want to check it out. I want to know what he thinks is good. And doing so much research on this thing, it is insane. This album, I didn't realize how influential it was for all different artists like Kendrick and Tyler the Creator, Odd Future, Brockhampton, all of those like bigger artists, rap artists now. They all have some influence or were given some influence by A Tribe Called Quest. Maybe even specifically this album, because it is so influential in the way it changed rap music. I even read that Jack White, who I mentioned earlier, is a rock artist, and he loves this album and was inspired by this album so much. So I was like, let me check this album out. Give it a listen on vinyl. Sounds amazing. very like deep, heavy bass. The flow is like nice and smooth. There's 2 rappers on the LP, or on In a Tribe Called Quest. 2 rappers at the time for Low End Theory. It was Q-Tip and it was Five Dog. Q-Tip and Five Dog, and the way they go back and forth on a lot of the songs on the album it's just so good. And it's not something that I normally would listen to, and I think my taste in rap music and music in general, of course, is evolving as I get older and I'm liking different things more, or I'm gravitating to listening to this stuff nonstop over and over again. And I think it's just because I want something new in my brain, something that doesn't seem so familiar. And I mean, as I'm listening to bands like Yellow Card in my headphones right now, but I've heard songs from Yellow Card, I feel like so many times. I get obsessed with songs, so I'll play them over and over and over and over and over again. And I feel like I probably heard Ocean Avenue 400 times. Like, it's a lot. In any song in that genre I've heard just nonstop. So that's why I like being open to listening to new stuff like this. And when he gave me that record, I was like right in that mind frame of like, man, the next record I'm gonna get, it's gonna be a record that I've heard of the band. I know someone has said, people online, a lot of people agree that this album is influential, and I just want to listen to it all the way through. And Chris gave me that birthday present. It kind of fell in my lap, and I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I needed right now. And I've honestly been playing it nonstop when I've been getting ready for this night tonight. I went out and got groceries. I got some stuff to make the cocktails. I've just been listening to Tribe Called Quest, Low End Theory on repeat, and just trying to get a feel of that whole album. And it's great. It's so perfect, and it's one of my favorite albums at the moment. I don't know if it's gonna last. I know songs that I'm probably gonna always come back to, or Check the Rhyme, Bugging Out, Check the Rhyme, Bugging Out, What's the Scenario, all that, or Jazz. It's a song called Jazz, I think. That one. I mean, those songs I'm going to come back to for sure. I don't know if this will stay in like one of my top albums ever, but just to kind of put it in perspective, some top albums ever for me, some like no skips. I will play the song and I could listen to it. If I had to pick 5 albums, I just had 5 albums right now. All right, let's go. Number 5, and I'm only putting this one so low because it's so old and I liked it at such a young age that I don't know if it holds up. I really enjoy it. I don't know if a lot of people do, but it is Shwazy's first album. It came out in like 2008, I think. But yeah, I mean, that's a summer album. I love it. It's like rap, low-key, just chill rap. Number 4, and just to kind of like mix it up in another type of album, is Mike Posner's A Real Good Kid. This album, I was kind of following Mike Posner at the time when he was walking across America, which was blowing my mind. He recorded this album along the way, and it's about like his dad dying and Avicii dying, and he's walking across the United States. He gets bit by a rattlesnake, I think in Colorado, cannot walk for like 6 months, then flies back out to Colorado to finish his journey across the United States. It was all just such a crazy story, and that album is it's honestly kind of inspiring. I really like it. Number 3, now we get into my 3 favorite bands of all time. I had to throw those other 2 in there because they're kind of wild cards, but the number 3 would probably go to Fall Out Boy's From Under the Cork Tree. I mean, Ariel's favorite band is Fall Out Boy. Fall Out Boy is not like a band that I hate, but it's Ariel's favorite band, and she is the reason why I like Fall Out Boy so much. Because I remember when she told me that she liked Fall Out Boy, or Fall Out Boy is her favorite band, that I just wanted Fall Out Boy to be my favorite band. So I listened to Take This to Your Grave, which is their first record, and I listen to it nonstop, and I still listen to it nonstop. Ariel loves it. I love it. We have it on vinyl. Another one of those that I can play all the way through, and Ariel's a big reason for that. It has a lot of like connection there. The next band kind of also has a connection because it's like my favorite band, and it is maybe by proxy Ariel's top 5. I say maybe top 5. I don't know, probably not. She puts up with how much I like Blink-182. I feel like every time we go to a big festival, Blink-182 happens to be headlining. We're going to Warped Tour, and when it comes back this year, and we're going in Orlando with our friends Katie and Christopher. But I feel like they haven't announced the lineup yet, and they're not going to announce it until January. But I feel like it might be Blink-182. I feel like they might be on this. And if they are, that'll be another festival that we go to that Blink-182 is headlining. But anyways, back to my number 2 album of all time is Enema of the State by Blink-182. And I love that album. I can listen to it nonstop over and over again. It is great. It is so fun and energetic and catchy, and every song's funny and great. I love it. And then my number 1, and that kind of is like my top 3 bands too. I don't know about 4 and 5. I don't know if I consider them top 5 bands. But top 3 bands are going to be Fall Out Boy number 3, Blink at number 2, and then The Wonder Years at number 1. And my favorite album from The Wonder Years is The Greatest Generation. I feel like this album came out at like a really good time in my life for me, that I really connected with the lyrics, and it was just about like growing up and trying to find yourself and figuring out like, are you an adult? Like, what do you do with your life? And yeah, I really love it. So yeah, top 5 bands, top 5 albums, top 3 bands. So here's all my prep work that I did to make the cocktails. The cocktails I made, the first one was the Queen's cocktail. That's going to be 1.5 ounces of gin, 3/4 ounce of sweet vermouth, 3/4 ounce of dry vermouth, and 1 ounce of fresh pineapple juice. I picked this cocktail is recommended because Tribe Called Quest is from Queens, so this is the Queen's cocktail. It's very similar to a gin and juice. It is just subbing the pineapple for the orange juice. The second cocktail I made was the Sidecar, and this was made just because this is a jazzy, funky album, and a Sidecar is a very jazzy, funky drink. This is 2 ounces of brandy, 1 ounce of triple sec, 3/4 ounce of fresh lemon juice, and then an orange peel to garnish. And I actually got the rose ice molds to kind of flare it up a little bit. And then here is us playing this game called Survive Escape from Atlantis. It's probably one of my favorite games of all time. It just kind of sucks because there's only a 4-player game, but I think everyone really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to play it again. Alright, that was it for Vinyl and Booze Night. I forgot to film more just because we were having so much fun, just hanging out and being in the moment. But this is me just jamming out, prepping, doing all the prep work before everyone came over, and making my PowerPoint slideshow and making sure everything was in line. But check out some clips now of Ariel's last few days in St. Louis.
We out here. We're at the History Museum.
We missed the rope drop.
We are here. We missed the rope drop.
And there's like
there are people here. We found a parking spot though. We are here to see some costumes from Meet Me in St. Louis and check out the museum.
We're reading about the Philippines.
Okay, but what's in front of us?
This is a model of the World's Fair.
Did you catch the scale on this bad boy?
No.
I didn't either. But it's 2 scale. So if you've been to St. Louis, Forest Park, you'll probably recognize Art Hill, and then back behind that that building is the art museum, which is one of the only original structures still standing from the World's Fair. This is the dress that Judy Garland wore in Meet Me in St. Louis and the coat that went with it. And they have never been together on display till now. Canada brought asbestos to the World's Fair. That's wild. Josie. A puzzler's got a puzzle. All right, we just finished up at the History Museum and we are going to get lunch at the Boathouse in Forest Park. We just finished up lunch. What was everyone's review?
It was good. I had the roast beast, the roast beast, and a side salad.
How many arches out of 5 would you give that?
Ooh, not Stella's. Four arches.
Josie, how was your burger?
It was.
Hello.
How many toaster raviolis out of 5 would you give your smash burger?
I don't even eat toasted raviolis.
That's blasphemous. But how many?
Just ratings. 3, 5, 4, 2.
This is the longest review.
3.5.
Aunt Kim, how was your pulled pork?
Pulled pork. It was nicely flavored, a little too fatty for my taste, and I would have preferred that they mixed the barbecue sauce in with the pulled pork instead of serving it separately. The Brussels sprouts also were flavorful but undercooked. So, I give it a 3.
What other St. Louis landmarks? 3.
3, let's see, we've got arches,
Muni.
we've got toasted red
Cardinals.
Yeah, red birds. 3 red birds.
3 cardinals.
3 red birds.
Actually, I'm gonna make it a 4.
You're changing?
burger.
Oh, okay. Anyway, we're leaving. It was pretty good. I got the Reuben. It was okay. I give it 3 Raja the elephants. Oh my, nice. Josie. I know we heard about the World's Fair, but we don't talk about the
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about
Okay, we're heading home. Bye.
How's it look?
It's looking pretty good. I think they're
Ooh,
almost done.
we're gonna have quiche for supper. Aunt Kim is making them. Let's see how they're going here. Ooh, those look beautiful.
This is the spinach quiche.
Wow.
And this here is the bacon quiche with meaty buns.
Wow.
They are works of art, if I do say so myself.
She's a quiche aficionado, people.
I'm the queen of quiche.
Come to this kitchen if you want quiche. Okay, we're here. AMC Streets of St. Charles Theater. No one else has arrived yet. We are about to see A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan movie, and neither one of us knows a whole lot about Bob Dylan, so excited. Okay, a little update. I forgot to tell you how I liked the movie. So, got back really late last night. It was kind of a long movie, but it was really, really good. Like I said, didn't really know anything about Bob Dylan going in, and I now know more, and I really like the music, and Timothée Chalamet is an American treasure. So, yeah, great. Family's about to come over today. We're having like a family get together, and that's about it. Okay, bye.
All right. Next day, I think. I don't know. I haven't been editing like consistently, so I am losing track of what clips I filmed already. Anyways, Ariel comes back today, picking her and her mom and her sister up at 11:40 in Destin, so that means I'm definitely going to have to take a nap. I'm already feeling kind of tired because I got up kind of early today. But cleaned the house, got it picked up. I gave the dogs a bath, and they're all clean now. Look at Stella's little shirt. Oh. Rosie, you look so fluffy. I know, I promised you treats. Alright, so I'm not doing much. I'm probably just gonna pick up the house. I think, alright, we'll see ya.